surprise, and welcome back. Oh my god. Hey. We're gonna address the elephant in the room in terms of location in just one moment, but I just need to let the record stay and let it show the efforts in the journey that I went through to get this, prepared and ready for y'all. And prepared is a generous word to use, but the struggle that I went through to even get this part working. And I'm not even talking about the video. Hello, come on, live in Technicolor. Hello, the audio. Tell me why I'm okay, it's time to record. I got my goodies. Let me get in the car. Let me go to my remote location. Let me set up and get going. Tell me why I start plugging everything in. Nothing's connecting. Nothing's working. I go, hi, hello. What do you mean? Why is nothing working? Why is nothing connecting? I've got everything plugged in. Lights are on. Things are flashing. Things are moving, and not a sound is coming out of anywhere. So I spent literally the last, give or take 30 minutes sitting here being like, oh my God, I don't think I'm gonna be able to record because I can't get this to work. And guess what? All I had to do, restart my computer. You actually can't make it up. When you really oh my God, when you really break it down, it's oh, it was that simple. I was in here sweating, freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I'm cooked. I'm literally cooked. The surprise is ruined. But no, my big brain locked in and she said, girl, restart it. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And it worked. So thank God. Hi everyone. Welcome back to Late Night Chats. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. It has been a while. I'm not even going to apologize because what I've gone through in the year that I have not been updating y'all and keeping up with y'all has been immense. So we're going to skip the apologies. We're going to skip the sorries and we're going to move forward because we're growing and learning every day. And you just have to give me grace in the way that I'm giving myself grace for this. So we're going to get into where I've been and what's been going on, but I just wanted to say, guys, I think we're back in a really big way. Hello, video format. Hello. Nice to see you, bright red in color and Technicolor, live in Technicolor. Hello. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I was just mainly concerned about the logistics of everything and how I was going to get it to work. Look at the studio setup. We're in the backseat of my car, and there's more story on that later as well. But I was I don't know, I want a real true studio space setup, and I want to make it feel real cozy, it's the late night and we're chatting. And you know what, I think we're gonna get that vibe today because the sun, she is setting. I should take a picture for you guys so then you can see, but I don't want to dox myself, so actually I know I won't do that, but the sun is setting. It looks very beautiful and very gorgeous, and right now we're just gonna, oh, I hope that's not a bug in here. I'm just really going to pretend it's the midnight sun happening right now. Just pretend it's 1 a.m. in Sweden and the sun is still out a little bit. You hear Zara Larsson yelling in the background type beat. Just pretend those are the vibes. Pretend that's the vibe. But yeah, it's been a year. So much has happened. I'm just going to start from where I'm pretty sure I left off with y'all, which is my recital and graduation. So cat's out of the bag. I graduated. All 5 years of my collegiate career, low-key almost went down in flames. But you know what? I persevered. I prevailed. And I put my swag on. And that's all I needed to do, honestly, to get through it all. So we're here. We really made it. Last I told you guys, I believe I was prepping for my senior recital, and that it was low-key, most seriously, low curcularly, the straw that almost broke the camel's back. I'm the camel in my back. Simply because the whole process of my recital, I tried to make it as streamlined as possible for my musicians, and I'm not the best, what's the word? I'm not the best person to write out what I hear musically. I'm more of a let me sing it to you, or let me play it for you with my hands or something, so the beat or rhythm or tempo that I'm trying to make for you. So my biggest challenge with getting all the music kind of organized and curated for them was writing it all down and getting it all out for them. And I did my best. I put my little hat on. I said, here's my one little two. And a lot of it just got lost in translation. And that's something that, like, honestly, only more practice and over more time, I'm going to get better at transcribing a lot of the music onto paper. But in the moment, she got a little lost in translation. So a lot of my rehearsals didn't go as well as I wanted it to. And we spent a lot of time basically trying to be like, so what did you mean when you wrote this triplet here? Or what was this, what's this quarter note supposed to mean? And as much as I thought that wouldn't be a big of an issue, it really did come down to it on the day of the recital. And thinking back on it now, because it's been a year, obviously, since everything. So on the 1 year of my recital, I finally went back and I rewatched the live stream footage, and I was like, I can't watch this sober because I'll freak out and try and rip my hair off my head with my bare hands. So I had my little bottle of soju, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a shot every time I do something really wrong that sounds terrible and is like really embarrassing. And upon rewatching it and like going through it, like when I was living in the moment of the recital, like you could have told me it was the like equivalent of like the earth opening up underneath me and swallowing me whole, because that's how like from my POV of me on the stage, of hearing everything and like experiencing everything, I was like, this is the worst thing that I've ever done, that I've ever like, you know, attached myself to, or that I've ever like put out there as like, this is a representation of myself. And while I was like singing the songs and going through everything, I was like, it can't get any worse than this. And it felt like every song after that got worse. And at one point Loki did, which is like, it's so devastating to think about, because I'll say this little bit. One of the songs that I performed in my recital, I actually wrote, like fully, like wrote out the chords, lyrics, like everything. And I was like, oh, like it's technically one of my projects for my classes, but it's something that I spent a lot of time working on in the last year. So I think it's important to share what now is like the final version of it, because I'm reworking it again. So like that version that was performed is not even the final version anymore, but that's for later in this episode. But when I was performing it, like, you know, it started out well. It's like, you know, me a little shaky because like, oh my God, like singing a song I wrote, you know, in front of like all my friends and family, like this, you know, it's a little nervous because you want everything to go right. You want everything to be perfect. And that was literally the opposite of what happened. And it like just after the solo section, it was just a train wreck. I came in at the wrong part. One of my soloists had like stopped at the wrong part, and it was just, after that, it was like one of those things where you're like trying to not freak out and save space or save face, because you know, like, okay, if I react on the stage in a way that's like, oh, she's mad, like, or like, oh, she's gonna throw up, or she's gonna scream, or she's gonna freak out, that it's like everything is ruined. And so it's one of those things where I'm kind of grateful that I have a strong poker face, because when it happened, like, I personally felt like I need to rip my skin off my face like right now in front of everyone, so they kind of forget what happened, and then I changed the trajectory of their lives. And it's like, y'all forgot how bad that, like, you know, transition of me and singing and forgetting the words and the, you know, whatever I mean. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't rip my skin off my face. I have to keep going. And so that moment specifically, like, kind of stuck with me the most, because like that was the pinnacle of where it started to go down in the recital. And so when I was rewatching it back, I was like listening again to, like, you know, all the songs and how I was singing, how I sounded with the band. And I was like, you know, I've only taken one shot so far, you know, and like now we're like 3 songs in, we're like at my my original piece, and I'm like, I'm not doing as bad as I thought I was. Like a year ago, like when I when I was sitting down and I was reflecting on it, like I remember after the recital, like everything was done and finished, I like went out and got dinner with my friend, and she had dropped me off back home, because when I was still living in the city. And I remember sitting in my living room for an hour straight in complete silence, just staring at the wall, like on some like you know, like when NPCs aren't like doing anything in the game because you're like not in the room, so they're just like sitting still, like literally not moving. That was me for an hour straight, just completely at the wall, just like, oh my God, that was so humiliating. Like I can't recover from that. And the biggest part of that was so humiliating for me was that song. So when I rewatched it and I saw, I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, that part's bad, but everything before that was really good. Vocally, I sounded really good. my band did sound good. I don't think they were as locked in with me as we could have been, but that's something I think could have been worked out with either more rehearsals or just more personal practice time between each person. So it's like, hey, coulda, woulda, shoulda now, you know what I mean? Like, hindsight's 2020 vision, like, whatever. But I, like, realized, I was like, okay, like, I'm not the most terrible performer on the planet. I'm not the worst vocalist, as I've deemed myself to remember, for the past year. Like, simply was just one of those moments where it's like, hey, one more rehearsal probably would have, like, made everything sound so more cohesive and everyone would have been more locked in with the music. But it's like, I was on a time crunch. I was trying to be mindful and respectful of other people's times, especially because, like, I was a graduating senior and two other musicians in my group were also graduating seniors. So it's like they had their own recitals and their own kind of like senior projects and stuff to work on. So it's like one of those things now. It's like I look back and I'm like, okay, like, that was a low point for me, but that's not the lowest. Or if that is the lowest for me, we can only go up. You know what I mean? Like, the bands keep stacking and it's just like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So that was a lot. And I'm glad that, like, even in the moment, as terrible as I felt about it, I didn't let it stop me. I was just like, I knew after that, I was like, I need to take a break, because at least like a break from music and kind of just that creativity, because I felt so drained from all that, because I spent so much time like prepping the music and really making sure that I like vocally was like on 10 and at my best to sing and perform it, and having it, all that work and all that build up to the big moment basically just like fall flat on its face in front of an audience and on the internet. I was like, yeah, I can't, I have nothing left to give. I'm juiced out. I put all my juice into that and it didn't rejuvenate me like I hoped it would. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a break from music. I'm going to live life. I'm going to enjoy my newfound freedom, because it's like I've been in school. Oh my God. When did I start? I started school in like preschool. So like from preschool age till now, which I was 23 when I graduated, that's a long time. And I was like, I've literally spent at this point over a third of, or over half of my life in school, and just like every day being like, I have this assignment to do, I have this to do, I have this to do. Over summer, like, I need to be preparing for this, I need to be studying this, I need to be reading this. And it's like, finally I have the freedom to do what fulfills me and that isn't required of me for the next semester. So I was like, I'm going to focus on that. So I graduated. I ended up moving out of my apartment and back home. And I was like, I'm just going to work, get my bread up, and just like live life. And that's what I did, honestly, for the most part. Like, the biggest thing that was like also my biggest goal for last year was to travel to London, which I did do that indeed. And it was so like, honestly terrifying, like preparing for that like international trip. Guys, sorry, pause. I'm like looking at the lighting right now and I'm looking how like it's getting worse, and I just like, guys, bear with me. This is episode 1. It's not always going to be like this, but like, please bear with me. Anyways, back to the main point. It was really daunting, like preparing an international trip like that, because I originally planned for it to be a solo trip of me going to London for like a week, exploring the city, and then maybe like doing other EU travels, such as like going to Paris or like Brussels, Belgium, like somewhere else in the EU. And I told my mom, I was like, hey, yeah, so I'm gonna go to London for my 24th birthday by myself. And she said, oh, you're not going by yourself. And I said, okay, so what do you mean by that? Like, what do you like? I'm an adult, I'm 21 plus, like I know my ways around the streets in the world, like I'm not dumb, I'm not gonna get kidnapped on some Liam Neeson, like it's okay, I can go. And she said, no, you're not going by yourself. She's like, if you're gonna go, you need to go with one other person, or I'm going with you. And at the time that I was like planning on like, starting to like book stuff and like look into like the travel dates and timelines, I'm like, I don't think anyone's like gonna be able to go with me, because my birthday last year was in the middle of a week. It was on a Wednesday, and I planned on traveling that entire week. I traveled from Monday till I believe the following Monday. So I did 7 days. And I'm like, okay, all my friends now have like big girl jobs. Like, they can't just take like a week off of work to like go to England. So I guess my mom's coming with me. So I told her, I was like, well, you better get your passport, girl, because you're coming with me. Because I was like, I'm going. Like, it was like something in my spirit knew especially with everything that's going on right now, I was like, girl, this is kind of like your one opportunity to go overseas where there's no major conflict happening in a way that's going to I guess, like, I don't want to say directly affect me, because all major, foreign affairs and conflicts, directly affect us. But I think something that wasn't going to, like, directly put me in danger in terms of, like, the US bombing someone, or, Israel doing something crazy. So I was like, if there's a time to go, it's going to be now, and it's going to be my birthday. So I told her, I'm like, okay, get your passport ready, and you better find you some good walking shoes, girl, because I like to hustle and I like to have a full week, because I don't know the next time I'm going to get oh, you guys didn't hear that. I don't know the next time I'm gonna be able to go back. Like, it's expensive to do international travel, one, but then also just like, timeline of foreign affairs and looking who's our president. Like, you just got to be like kind of more careful, and like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it was mainly just like I feel the call. I feel the call of the United Kingdom. My city is calling me. London is my city. England is my city. It's calling me. I have to go. So I planned everything out for me and my mom. We did a week there. We did 6 days in London, and we did 1 day in Pali, and we went to Disneyland Paris. Mainly because she's never been to Disney before, and it's always been like one of her kind of childhood dreams to go. So I was like, hey, let's cross a couple things off our bucket list. One, going to France, which, more on that. And then also getting my mom to Disney. Like, that would be like so much fun and so awesome. And so, got the passports and stuff, which I didn't know that, like, I did know this. Like, obviously you have to take your glasses off and such, like, for passport photos, so they know, like, you're not wearing a disguise, you're not like a criminal, whatever. Cool. But like, in the photo that they took, I just looked so I personally didn't even recognize myself looking at the photo. So that's why I was like, okay, so how is anyone gonna know, like, I'm that girl in that photo when I'm gonna come to the airport with my glasses on? I don't know. I think it was honestly just the angle of the guy, or of the photo that the guy took, and that's why it like looked weird to me. But I'm like, dang, low-key, this is my passport for the next 10 years. Like, ox, like major ox. But anyways, we like book all the travel and like got everything ready, and then we go over there. And it was the most like the first day, I guess, of travel, and we were on our plane to England. As I'm like walking down the like aisle of the plane to like get to me and my mom's seats, I just hear these different arrays of like English accents. And it was honestly like so surreal, because it's like I've always kept up with like what British people were doing, just like politically, but also like on like the fun side of things. Like, I was a Dan and Phil girl down. Like, I was always watching Dan and Phil on top of like the other like British YouTubers like Zoella and some of the gaming YouTubers too. Whatever. So it was like weird to like hear them in like real life, and not just like through like, a screen or like some audio. And I was like, oh my God, like British people are actually freaking real. Like, that's crazy. Like, you guys are actually like real people, and like those are your real accents. Like, you guys aren't making that up for like fun or like to like joke. Like, that's like real. And I say that not in a way to say like, British accents are funny, da da da. But like hearing like different accents of like different dialects of a place, to me, has always been like really like interesting and exciting, because you can always say like, oh, I'm from the United Kingdom, but like your accent will determine what part of the region you're from. And like, I don't know, that to me has always been so cool. And it's like that, with anywhere, like between like the Caribbeans or other European places, especially like Eastern European areas, because I've been hearing a lot of those like accents and languages too, and you can just always like tell like each, even though like the language itself might sound similar to you because you don't hear often, the like way they speak it is like super different. Like with Latin, why can't I, girl, anyways, like with Latin languages, especially like the difference between like how like Spaniards speak Spanish and how like Argentinians will speak Spanish versus like the different areas of how like Mexican people will speak Spanish, like in those different like areas. That to me is just so cool. So like hearing it like on a plane all at once, it was like a little overwhelming, but it's also really exciting. So I was like, oh my God, like we're literally going to London, like that's so cool. And we're on the flight, like we take off and we're in the air and everything, and immediately I'm like, I'm feeling a little funny. Why is there a little tickle in the back of my throat? Like, that's crazy. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh, like, like I had my mask on, of course, because like plain germs, don't play around with her, especially with this hantavirus going on. I already knew, keep your mask on the plane. These people are nasty. I'm just gonna keep it real. These people are nasty. And so I was sitting there with my mask on, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's just because like I haven't had some water recently, or like my Gatorade. Like, let me just drink something. And like as I'm like sipping throughout like part of the flight, like before our meal comes and stuff, I'm like, nah, girl, like this tickle and this itch is not going away. Like, oh my god, it's a cat. That's so cute. Meow meow. Anyways, this tickle, this itch is not going away. Like, this is bad signs, because like first travel day, and I'm like, I'm getting sick, and I'm about to go on an international travel, which I can't, refund or rebook. Like, I cannot get sick right now. Like, I cannot get sick. And I just remember thinking like, okay, like I'm gonna just get my juice. I'm gonna get my cookie. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get my juice. I'm gonna like eat this in-flight meal, and I'm just trying to like stay warm and just like rest up. So I initially wasn't planning to sleep on the plane, just because like I have a slight phobia of planes crashing, and I feel like if, side note, if a plane were to crash, I feel like it'd be better if I was asleep, because if I was awake, I'd probably have a heart attack and then die regardless. But it's like, I don't know. You'd rather be awake, so then it's like, and I'm not gonna talk about it, because like the more I talk about it, the more it gets real. But like, anyways, I was just planning on being awake. Oh my god, how did he get up there? Guys, the cat is doing cat things. Like, wow. Oh my god. Sorry. Oh my god. Anyways, I was like, okay, like I'm just have to get over my fear, and I'm just gonna have to like take little naps here and there, just so it's like I can rest up and heal. And it's like, as the flight's going on, I like finish my like in-flight meal. I can probably insert a photo of it somewhere around here, which like low key, like British Airways, I was like, listen, the food over there is nasty. Like, I can't lie. Like, well, actually, let me not speak too much, because the only British food we actually ate on that trip was fish and chips. Everything else was like, it was basically American food over there. You know what I mean? So like, let me not speak too much. But the next time I do go, I'm really gonna like tap into y'all's cuisine. But just from the photos I've seen, I'm like, that's not real food. You grabbed that from a garbage can and you said bone apple teeth. But sorry, my British fans. I'm sorry. But the in-flight meals were actually pretty good. Like, they were actually really, except for one, but I digress. All of the, like, my breakfast was good and my dinner was good. Going there, and then my breakfast coming, or not my breakfast coming back was disgusting, but the dinner coming back was also good. Side note. So I'm like laying there, and I like finished my meal, and I'm like, okay, cool, like I'm just take a little nap, my movie on or whatever. And as I'm like starting to fall asleep, I start getting like irrationally hot, like really really hot, and I'm like starting to like sweat. And I have my mom's hoodie on, so I'm like, okay, like I can't get this hoodie musty. Like, there's no means to wash it. Like, we're about to be in another country for 7 days, and our hotel doesn't have like washer and dryer. Like, I can't get this musty. So I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, here, what is the best way to cool me off right now? I have warm Gatorades. That's not gonna do much. And I finished all of my cranberry juice and my Sprite, but there's this piece of cheese left. There's this piece of cheese left for my meal, and I'm like, it's still kind of cold. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to just like put it on my forehead. It's going to cool me down, and we're going to be cool. We're going to be fine. And so I'm like laying there. I like put the cheese on my forehead, and I just have my eyes closed. So I'm like trying to sleep, and I'm like listening to the movie. And my mom like shakes me, and she's like, what are you doing? Why is that cheese on your head? Like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just hot, and the cheese is cold. So I'm using the cheese to cool me down. And she's like, don't do that. Take that cheese over here right now, and just take the sweater off. Just take half of the sweater off. I was like, okay, fine, like whatever. And like low-key, she cooked, because like once I took like, because I just took like my arm out and like kind of had like it like kind of cross on me, so like I get a little airflow on my arm and like my chest. That helped a lot, actually. She actually kind of cooked on that, because I was like, wait, why am I way cooler than with the cheese on me? Like, that's crazy. Anyways, we like get through the flight. I like we wake up, we land in England, and I was just like, oh my God, like we're like really here. And we like get on our journey. Our itinerary for the week was to see Simply Red in Sheffield, which was divine. He's such an amazing performer. I was so glad that I saw him. I had actually, funny enough, bumped into a couple British people at my job like a week or two before we had left. And I like told them, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be in London, at the beginning of October, and I'm gonna see Simply Red. Like I'm really excited to see him. And they're like, oh my god, Simply Red? Are you serious? Are you having a laugh? Like, why would you go and see him? Da da da. And I was like, oh, y'all don't y'all don't rock with Simply Red? And I was like, that's crazy because I rock heavy with Simply Red. I was like, oh, like, is there some tea I should know? Like, why don't you guys rock with him? Like, that's crazy. But like they were just being haters. It was a great show. I had a great time. My mom had a great time too. Like, that was low key like top 10 concerts. I'm not even gonna lie, top 10. And then after that, it was my birthday. And so we went shopping. We went to Oxford Street and we had dinner at one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants, which was really good. It was a burger. I had a burger. Me and my mom had burgers. It was this burger restaurant. It was burger in case you it was burger. Really good burgers. And then the next day we went to Bali and went to Disneyland Paris, and that was a struggle in itself too. So in the weeks leading up to Disneyland Paris, I don't know if you guys are aware of like what cuisines they have there, what restaurants, but I love Ratatouille. We're just gonna cut to the chase. I love Ratatouille, like down, like Remy and me, we're locked in, like we're twinning them. And so I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna be in Disneyland Paris. I love Ratatouille. I have to eat at the Ratatouille restaurant. Like it's like 1 + 1 = 2. Like I have to be there. And while I was trying to like book the reservation for the restaurant on the Disneyland app, completely sold out on the day after my birthday. And I said, oh, okay, like what do you mean it's completely booked out? Like at this point I'm looking at the reservations for the restaurant. It's like I think late August now, mid to late August, early September, which is like, yeah, I know like Disney gets a little bump in with like, tourists and people traveling, but I thought that was just in the US. Like I thought, people kind of went overly crazy about it here. No, they do it overseas too. So that like restaurant that day had been booked out at least a month in advance, unbeknownst to me. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna throw up and cry if we go to Disneyland Paris and I can't eat at the Ratatouille restaurant, because the Ratatouille restaurant is so freaking cool. It's basically like you're a little rat. Like I don't know if you guys have seen Ratatouille, but at the end of the movie, Remy gets his own little rat restaurant, and it's above the restaurant of the chef that he was helping. I can't remember his name. Maybe I don't love Remy down. Anyways, and it's like the restaurant that's in the movie, they basically kind of recreated it and made it bigger, so you kind of feel like, oh my god, I'm a little rat in the attic and I'm eating in Remy's restaurant. Like this is so cool. And I was like, I have to be there. I have to be a little rat in Remy's restaurant eating his little rat food. Like it's just, it has to be that way. So in the weeks leading up to me going, I was stressed out. Like, I can't even lie. I was scrolling on the Disneyland app every day, being like, okay, I just need one reservation open up. Run one reservation for two. One reservation for two. That's literally all I need. And like nothing came up. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what? It's okay if I don't eat at the Ratatouille restaurant. Like I will live. It's not the end of the world. We're gonna be okay. And so it's day of. My mom and I, we had to get up really early that day because we had a very early train ride on the Eurostar, which, might I add, we need one of those over here. Like I know it's like the Eurostar is not even technically a bullet train. It's just like a high-speed rail line. We need something like that over here, because even though it wasn't as fast as a bullet train, we got there like to France, like the France countryside, very, very fast. And the accommodations were very, very nice. It was very nice seating, lovely views, AC, like chargers, everything. I was like, this is what transit should be like. This is what taking the train should feel like. It should feel like a luxury, even though you're just like, I don't know, going like an hour and change away. Like, I wish we invested more in our infrastructure. Anyways, so we had to get up early to get to the train station and like go through basically TSA again, because we're crossing country lines. And we like get on the train and we're sitting down in our seats, and I like literally I hear a voice, like, and it's not even, I'm not even joking. Like I literally hear a voice in my head that's like, check the app. And it's like it didn't even need to say like what app to check. I already knew. And I was like, okay, like I'll check it. Like, maybe something will be there, maybe not. I'm clicking on the app. I click through, the restaurant, look at the reservation times. There's one slot available for two at 1:40 p.m. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm literally, I'm sitting there next to my mom, literally just going out loud, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And she's like, what, London, what's going on? I was like, I couldn't even speak because I was like, I gotta move fast. I gotta move fast. Like, I have to get this. Like, this was God. This was literally God talking to me. And so, like, in the 30 seconds that I'm freaking out, I book it. Yes. I book it. I managed to book it. And I literally, like, oh, I was so happy. I like almost burst into tears. I was like, Mom, we get to eat at the Ratatouille restaurant. I was like, a reservation opened up for like 140 for two. So we get to eat there. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, okay, whatever, bro. Like, she did not understand what this meant to me, but I was like, yes. Like, oh, I was like, I was going to be okay if I didn't go, but I was going to be devastated if I didn't eat at the Ratatouille restaurant. Like, you guys don't understand. And so I'm like sitting on the train. I'm like so excited. I'm so happy. And then there's these two British people talking behind us. And they're, funny enough, talking about the U.S. like political affairs that are going on. And I'm like, oh no. I was like, oh no. Like this can only go like one or two ways. Like they're going to either say something crazy or like Americans are absolutely effing stupid and blah, 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 which also true. Or they can be like, yo, Trump is really on to something over there. I think we need to. So I was afraid, but I'm listening to their conversation, and it was an older gentleman from like the more like posher side of London, like downtown London, and then there's like a younger gentleman kind of around my age that was from like the rural like suburb areas, and they were basically talking about like what was going on in the US and like how like obviously like Trump was being stupid with all the like policies that were going on over there. I forget. Oh, that's when the government shutdown happened when I went to England. So they were talking about that and how stupid it was that he wasn't doing anything to fix it, and how also like our other politicians were being dumb, like holding up everything just because like they didn't want to pay those people their money and get in their benefits and stuff. And so I was listening to the conversation because I was nosy, because I was like, I want to hear what they're talking about. And then my mom starts chiming in with them. I was like, don't let them know we're not from here. Like, do not expose us. And she starts talking to him, and she's like, yeah, I absolutely agree with what you guys are saying and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, it's just like my mom. Like, just like my mom to join in on a conversation. But then, like, they, like, actually start, like, kind of, it was like really wholesome actually, because they started talking about kind of like the differences that they have between like people who live in the suburbs of England versus those who live in London, and how like even though, you know, maybe things are like contrastively different in a way just because of like population sizes and, you know, whatever funding they have and whatnot, that regardless they still kind of like work together to keep England, you know, as connected as a country as possible, especially with a lot of the crime that was going on. Like at the time that we were there, which was actually kind of scary, there's like, you know, a couple stabbings that have been going on. And even the younger gentleman that was talking is like, yeah, in my area, like, you know, there's certain places that you just don't go because it's that dangerous that you could run the risk of being stabbed. And it's like, it's the same way here, but I think it was more interesting to see how like common of a goal it was, that the people that were kind of more united as a front, well, at least between those two people, it seemed like, of kind of actually helping their city become better from like the people side, even if the politician side weren't with them. So I was like, wow, I love community actually. Like, community is actually really beautiful. Like, I'm watching two worlds like literally bond over their differences instead of like, you know, fighting or arguing over their differences. So it was really cool. But anyways, we like, you know, go on our awesome train ride, and we stop in this little I guess I don't want to say village, but this little town called Lille, France. And I will say that is the most beautifully architecturally designed train station I've ever seen in my life. I have an affection for brutalist design just because I like how, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of strange to say actually, but I like how cold everything looks because everything's basically concrete and metal. And so it's like really cool to see like how they use different not even materials, like it was all concrete and metal, but it was just like, it was really like cool how they designed the station and how like everything kind of coincided, because it was the train station and then it was also connected to a mall. And so like as you're like walking through the mall, it's like you're kind of still in the train station, at least like part of it, like as to how they connected it. And I was like, wow, this is like so cool, because there's this one open area where it's kind of like a rest area, if you will, but it has like lush kind of greenery. It's like big trees and kind of like little grass areas and then fake grass and whatnot. But it was just like, I love the contrast of like, wow, like fresh outdoors, greenery, green trees, and then just like concrete, metal, rah, rah, like all around it. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I loved the design of it. I was like, oh, I wish I could just like put this in my pocket and take it with me. But we go into the mall because my mom needed some ibuprofen because she left hers at the hotel. And we're like, okay, cool. Like there should be like a little, I don't know, like a convenience store that sells ibuprofen. Like we'll go in there or whatever. And we find this little, actually like kind of pharmacy that has ibuprofen. And we're just like kind of like browsing the selection of like stuff that they had because everything's in French, because like we're in France. So we're like, okay, like we're trying to find what we think looks like Advil or ibuprofen. So then that way we can, explain to the lady in our best French, if possible, or in English, that like that's what we're looking for. And so as we're standing there and we're looking, like the cashier lady's talking to like someone in front of her. So like, we're just like standing slightly behind. I shouldn't say slightly behind them. Like we're like a ways away behind them, just browsing. And she like stops conversation and she goes, bonjour. And I was like, oh, bonjour. Like, hello. And she literally turns to the guy that she was just talking to and she goes, bonjour, blah, 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 and starts laughing. I was like, there's no way this lady just made fun of me how I said bonjour. Like, there's actually no way. Like, I'm sorry I said it like really chipper and happy. Like, it's 9 in the morning here in France. I'm like, I'm sorry I wasn't trying to be like bonjour, like, like a dirtbag. Like I was trying to be like, oh, bonjour, like good morning, hello, good morning. That girl literally laughed in front of me with her friend. I said, oh, cool. So that's how it's gonna go. So after she's kicking with that guy, she goes, so how can I help you? Great. So I was so annoyed. So I'm like, if you're gonna talk in English anyways, like why are you gonna make fun of me for like trying to be like culturally respectful? Because I heard like as a part of their culture, even if you don't speak French, it's a part of like you're supposed to say bonjour and then speak your native tongue, or bonjour, speak French, bonjour, like you know what I mean, like you're just supposed to open with hello in their language. So I was like, why am I like getting clowned on for being respectful? Like this is crazy at 9 in the morning. So I was like, oh, okay, like awesome first like French interaction, like this is like really cool. I guess it's only up from here. And like honestly, it was. When we got to the park, the other like park attendants were that were French, like they were much nicer, which is like, I know you might be getting paid to be nicer, so it's like whatever. But they're much nicer and much like kind of easier going with like either me trying to speak French, because my mom didn't know lick of French, so I was kind of holding it down with my Spanish because I didn't realize how similar Spanish and French were until I was over there fighting for my life and realizing, oh, that word translates I think the same. But anyways, so like after that I had like better French interactions, but I was like, oh my god, like what a crazy start to like France. like oh, okay, cool. But anyways, we like get to the park and we're like on a ride or two before our reservation at the Ratatouille restaurant, and we go there and we're like, we like walk in there after like waiting in the lobby for a little bit. I was like, oh my god, like this is so cool. I was like, I'm literally a little rat in Remy's attic, like this is so awesome. And we told them that it was my birthday, and so they like a part of my or a part of like the course that me and my mom got, it was an appetizer, entree, and then like a dessert, which the dessert being like a birthday Mickey cake for me because it was my birthday. And the food was delicious. Like I know like England and France kind of get a bad rap on some things just because like they don't season their food and stuff properly, but like that food at that Ratatouille restaurant, like I think Remy was back there cooking. I think he was back there like whipping it up in there because it was really good. Like it was delicious. I had me and my mom both had their like spring soup, which kind of tasted like a I don't know how to describe it because it was cheese based, but it was also kind of like fresh and herby, so it's kind of like a herby kind of like cheese soup or whatever. Really, really delicious. And then for my entree, I had their smoked fish, or this is grilled fish with potatoes and then ratatouille. But get this, the ratatouille was not like the ratatouille in the movie. It was like diced veggies like ratatouille, and not like how it was in the movie. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Like you can only win every battle that you can. So I was like, you know what, I'll take it on this one, only because even though it wasn't in the shape, it was really delicious still. Like it was really, really good still. So I was like, okay, like it's cool. And then my mom had chicken and I think also mashed potatoes in the ratatouille with her entree. And everything was good. I was like really enjoying the vibe and the atmosphere and everything. I was like, wow, like I just can't believe I'm here. This is so awesome. And then they come with the cake and they sing happy birthday to me. And they're singing in English, but wait. Yeah, they're singing in English, but like they all have heavy, thick French accents because they're French people. And my mom's recording it. In the video, they say my name really funny, and I laugh. And they start like one of them starts giggling too. And I was like, guys, wait, I'm not laughing like with you. Like I'm not like hee, this is so awesome. I'm laughing like hee, you guys say my name funny. But anyways, it was such a really awesome experience, and I'm glad that like me and my mom could go and like experience that, especially because neither of us had ever been out of the country before. Like this was our first time like getting our passports, like leaving the country, technically twice, because we flew out of the US to England, and then we traveled from England to the France by train and whatnot. But it was just really awesome, and I was just glad that like we could kind of check off two things on not only my bucket list but also my mom's. Just because like it's always been a childhood dream of hers, so it was just really awesome to like kind of like be there and experience that moment with her. And my mom doesn't like getting on like roller coaster rides and stuff, so when we went to Disneyland, I was like already like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just gonna walk around, like take pictures and like look at all the rides and stuff, maybe try some snacks, eat at the restaurants and like souvenir shop. But like she got on two rides. I was like this is awesome. So we ended up getting on the Slinky ride at their like Magic Kingdom area, or no, at their Hollywood Studios area or whatever. And then we did the Star Wars ride, the Star Wars ride at the like Kingdom area, which was really cool. I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't think she's gonna get on any rides. Like this is really cool. It's really awesome. Like I love this. So yeah, it was a really wonderful experience. We spent way too much money on souvenirs there. I mean, way too much money. Like we went to every souvenir shop. I think almost every souvenir shop we bought at least one thing. Like it was so bad. But I know it's one of those things where it's like, oh, when in Rome, like when's the next time you're gonna be at Disneyland Paris? But I was like, we're spending money in ways I just don't believe God intended. And you know what? As we freaking should. So we eventually have to take our train back to England, and as we're like going through the like TSA again to get back on the train, the guy who's like checking our passports, he's like, so where'd y'all go today? Oh my god. He was like, so where'd y'all go today? And we're like, oh, we went to I'm gonna say the story and then I have to cut. But I was like, oh, we went to Disneyland Paris today. Like we're in the train station with our ears still on, all of our like souvenir bags in hand. We're like, oh yeah, we're at Disneyland Paris. And like, oh, okay, did you guys have fun? We're like, oh yeah, we had some fun. It was so funny. He was like, oh my god, like did you get on this ride? And we're like, nah, we didn't have time for all that. Like we're on a tight crunch or whatever. But it was just really cute. He's like, oh yeah, if you come back, like you have to get on this ride, blah blah blah. I was like, oh well, thanks sir, I hope you have a great night or whatever. And that concluded our French journey. Oh, actually, one more thing. So for the Eurostar, when I booked the tickets, I originally had clicked to have like economy for both ways. And I did something, and I think either like the coming home economy had sold out, so I had to get their first class like option, which sounds like, oh no, you had to get first class, but like look, I did have to get first class. And when I bought it was like, oh, there's a meal included like with your first class trip. And I was like, okay, fire, like because by the time we get back to England, like low key everything's gonna be like closed, so like this is perfect. And we like get on the train, we're like find our seats, and we're sitting down, and they come to us with our meal. And the meal in question is like cold cut like roast beef, not even mashed potatoes, it was like diced or sliced potatoes, and like a cream kind of consistency. I don't want to say like sour cream because it wasn't that, but it was like some type of cream situation, and pickles. Like I'm pretty sure it was pickles. It was either pickles, like diced pickles, or not diced. It was is it julienne? Whatever like spiral cut that is. Like when you cut the veggies in a spiral, whatever cut that was, it was that but pickles or cucumber. I don't know because I didn't eat it. Because when I tried to take a bite of it, it was the mushiest thing I've ever touched in my life. And I don't even know how that's possible, because it's like, actually I do know how that's possible, which now I'm kind of glad I didn't eat it. But I was like, why is it mushy? I was like, why is it mushy? Like, that's disgusting. But then I also was thinking, I was like, well, why would you give me a spiraled pickle, too? Like, that's Like, I get it. They don't know I hate pickles. Like, they didn't know my hatred for pickles. But like, you're gonna give me a spiraled pickle and go bon appetit? Oh, okay. That's what we on. Oh, okay. But yeah, that was nasty. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, that food was gross. I remember I think I only ate the potatoes and part of the beef, because like my cut that I got was just honestly like kind of fatty. So I was like, I'm just gonna eat around the fat and eat like whatever meat. And then I just drank my juice for the whole train ride home. I was like, I'm gonna just drink my juice, like that's it. And eventually, like, we get home and we get back to the train station, then we go home, we sleep, and then the next day I was like, well, I didn't really plan this far, so we could just spend the day kind of doing like local, like touristy things, like going to the museum, which we did, and going to more souvenir shops for things, and just like seeing what other, like, badness, whatever badness we can get into. I think that's my cue that I'm taking too long to do this episode. We low-key might have to cut this into 2 parts. I digress. Let me speed through the rest of this trip. My mom falls on the stairs. The lady's like, don't move. I'm going to get medical. My mom gets up before medical gets there. The guy walks up to her and he's like, are you good? I heard you fell. Like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. And just like walks away. We're like, okay, sick. Eventually, like, we go see Africa and we go to the souvenir shop, and then we go have fish and chips in a nearby restaurant, which was absolutely divine. I've never had like fried fish with like the skin still on it. So like that for me texturally was like crazy at first, but then I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's okay. I'll let it slide. But yeah, after that we were just kind of like that day we had a late start on that day that she fell down the stairs. So we're like, okay, the next day, like I think that was like Saturday or Sunday. Yes, that was Friday. Our next 2 days we're like, okay, we have to be up early and we have to like really make the most of the day because we only have 2 days left. Because on Monday when we flew out in the morning. So it was like there's no time for any type of sightseeing and whatnot. But we spent our last couple of days just kind of exploring the city. We went to the palace. We went thrifting. We did afternoon tea in this really bougie hotel near the church in London. Like kind of near like Big Ben and the London Eye, and it was really delicious. The tea was also really delicious and very strong. I will say, England tea, y'all don't play around. That's tea. That tea is tea. And I was like, oh, we need this back home, because the tea here in the US, it just don't hit like it does over there. But that was really awesome too, because my mom also really wanted to do afternoon tea, and I'd honestly forgot about it, because she had mentioned it offhand. She's like, oh, like there's one of the, like, we were walking the street, she's like, oh, there's one of the like afternoon tea buses, like we should try and do one of those. And I was like, oh dang, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about afternoon tea. So luckily I was able to find that one, which honestly I think was better than being on a bus, just because, like, it's not the stop and go of the driving and traffic and whatnot. But that was really delicious and really awesome. My favorite sandwich, in case you guys were wondering, was the egg sandwich, which I actually ate most of my time that I was there in England. Like, for some reason, like, their egg sandwiches, which there's nothing special about them. I'm gonna keep it real. It's literally just a hard-boiled egg kind of diced up with like mayonnaise and chives, because they don't season anything. So, but like, to me, and on white bread, but to me I was like, this is delicious and this is profound. Like, we need to tell the Americans, like, this is amazing. I don't know. I just loved the egg sandwiches over there. Like, it was, and that's such, like, I feel like that's such a weird thing to say, but they were just so good. I don't know. They were just really good. But after that, we did some thrifting, some sightseeing. We saw Big Ben and the church. We got on the London Eye, and we made perfumes as well at this really awesome perfumery in Brixton Village called. Hold on, because let me think about it. It was this black owned like perfumery, and the lady that helped us, she was so nice. She was very kind, very welcoming, and she was able to like kind of recreate popular fragrances basically. So I had remade Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and my mom did, I think, a Kayali one and something else, but she loved those. She got 2, and I got my little one, and that was a lot of fun. And then we went to this really awesome vinyl shop, like record store, that had like just it was basically like It felt like I was in like some guy's attic. Like that's how just like cool and calm it was. But he had such an extensive like collection of like drum and bass records and like dance tracks and even some like US like popular stuff. Like there's some Michael Jackson, some Snoop Dogg, and some like other random stuff. But I was like, oh my God, like there's type of like, you know, drum and bass stuff that I've like literally never even come across before, that I was like, wow, like this is so cool. So I bought a couple of those, which honestly, now that I'm thinking about, I don't think I've listened to them since I bought them. I need to go back and listen to them, make sure that the vinyl is still okay or whatnot from sitting in its crate for all the time it's been. But yeah, it was a really awesome trip. I'm really happy that I stuck to my guns and I was able to go and able to bring my mom with me. And it was just so life changing. Like I can't wait to go back. Hopefully I can go back soon or sometime. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So then after that, after my birthday, come back home. Was just living life, working and whatnot. And I am now in a relationship. Me and my very special and awesome boyfriend, we like tied the knot. I'm kidding. But we like became official that like December. And we had spent most of the summer into the winter like talking and getting to know each other and going on dates and stuff. And it's been really awesome being in a relationship. I think especially being with my boyfriend now, he's just so kind and caring and loving and patient that I never thought like I could find something like that in someone, especially in a man. Just because like a lot of men just aren't fully in tune with their emotions and they're not able to like articulate them as well. And I think that's been like the most eye-opening thing about being in a relationship, not only just like being emotional and being vulnerable, but like actually being able to just like articulate like what's wrong and having the other person actually being understanding of like what you're feeling and what's been going on, and then being able to express their feelings and, you know, whatnot. And so it's been really special being able to, you know, be with my boyfriend and spend time with him and get to know him more. Like it's very funny that like anytime that like we're either out with our friends or like he's talking to even my friends, everyone's like, you guys just compliment each other really well. Like you guys are just so perfect for each other. And it's really funny because like when we initially like became friends, I was like, wow, like this guy's really funny. Like this guy is really, really funny. Like it's kind of hard for me to like say that in a man sometimes, because it's like when a man speaks, sometimes it ain't nothing funny. It's like, why? Anyways, but like this one, I was like, no, like you're funny in a way that doesn't like put women down or demean others, which is like hot take. That shouldn't be like a norm, or sorry, that shouldn't be like something to be celebrated. But the amount of like men who just make like jokes and comments like that on the regular, it's like low-key a breath of fresh air to like hear someone make a joke that doesn't put anyone down or doesn't like disrespect anyone in any way. So like that's been like awesome. And honestly, just like we do really compliment each other. The more I spend time with them and like the more we just like talk to get to know each other, I'm like, yeah, like you're like high-key my twin in them. like this is crazy. But I also think the most beautiful part about it is just that even through like all the like situationships and stuff that I've been through, it's like this relationship in general has taught me that like being able to like be on the same page as someone is like really important. Because like from past situationships, I've always felt like it's been very one-sided, either in like how I feel about someone or how someone feels about me. And it's like really like, wow, okay, like you do really like me. Like, you know, like you do really like talking to me and like hanging out with me and spending time with me. And like that's been something I've also been like learning like to come to terms with, especially with my boyfriend now, because there's a lot of times that I recognize like, oh, like I'm the first person you want to talk to, like after you get off of work, or like, you know, when something weird happens, like I'm the first person you text. And it's like I don't think I've ever really been that person for someone, like let alone not in a relationship, but also just in friendships. So it's like something I've had to like kind of, I don't want to say learn to accept, but adapt to more, because I'm just so used to being like the second person on people's list, or like third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, you know what I mean? And so it's like, wow, like someone that I put first also puts me first, or someone who I reach to like text something funny about or to say this to also does the same to me when it happens to them. And it's like, wow, like this is really awesome. This is really beautiful. So I'm really happy that we're together and we're coming up on our 1 year. I'm really excited to celebrate it. I have like a really like awesome special surprise for him that I really hope he likes. But yeah, I'm just so excited. Being in love is kind of cool, guys. It's like kind of cool and it's kind of awesome. Don't listen to what those haters say when they're like, love is gross, love is you. Well, love is gross and love is you, but it's also really awesome and beautiful and natural too. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that was my winter. And then fast forward to like even like a little bit throughout last year and this year, I've been doing a lot of like cool things with music, and I've been able very awesomely been able to perform with my friend around the city as doing backup vocals and backgrounds for her on her sets and stuff. And it's just been really like kind of awesome to be like, wow, like I'm kind of a musician in a way. I'm like literally a musician. But it's been so cool. Like something that I've always like dreamed about doing, even if it's like, not me being the headliner or being the opener or whatever, even just being like, my role as a background vocalist, singing these awesome songs that she's created, by the way. I'm just like, I'm honestly very honored and very grateful to be here. Like I'm in rooms and in spaces that I didn't think like I'd be on the stage performing, before, let alone being able to do it with an audience as well. And also doing it with like my now amazing and awesome musician friends that I've made from like working with her and all her other awesome friends as well. So it's been so cool. Like, I'm so grateful that thankfully I have, the free time to even practice and even work on my own music, let alone be able to perform with her and do her music, and other stuff as well. But I'm also just grateful that I have the time to be creative, especially like in the way that the world's going right now. There's not a lot of time to really be creative. Like you kind of really got to be on your bag and on your bread, making sure your basic necessities are met and you can still live comfortably, even not living out your full passions and hobbies. So really grateful for like the experiences that I have and the experiences to come, and I can't wait to do more and share more with you, especially because I'm now in the studio working on my own stuff. So really excited to see how that's going to develop. I had my first kind of music meeting with my producer that went really well, and I'm just excited to see how it'll go. Like I've been kind of writing more like chords and lyrics and just like kind of getting more into the rhythm of doing it more often. And it's just been like, I don't know, it's been like really exciting because it's like, yeah, like this is what I went to school for. So I was like, yeah, I should be doing this anyway. But it's like actually starting to become real. It's something you always think about and always like dream about. But like now that I'm actually like doing the steps to like make that a more, como se dice, like permanent reality of being hopefully a full-time musician sometime soon, like it's just so exciting. I'm so excited for it, and I'm so excited for all my like musician and creative friends that are doing awesome things as well around the city. Oh, it's like, wow, we really work towards this, and we're really gonna like get there. Like, it's gonna be really cool and awesome. So I've been really excited about that. And what else have I been getting up to? Yeah, other than that, I've been like working, hanging out with friends, my boyfriend. And this past May, I had the incredible honor of going to the Pacific Northwest for my friend's 25th birthday, which was also really beautiful, awesome, and natural. But might I add, your girl has a pollen allergy, which unbeknownst to her, like I thought I had, the occasional like, oh, dust allergy, like yada yada yada. I almost messed up in the craziest way, like in the most craziest way possible. Like I absolutely, I almost messed up in the most. Oh my god. Anyways, we're gonna move on. Thankfully, I fixed my major error. So I went to the Pacific Northwest in May. It was really, oh my god, I'm seeing things. It was really beautiful, really awesome. I discovered I have a pollen allergy while I was there. I thank God every day that I brought extra strength Benadryl for myself, just because I'm not sure what pollen it is out there, or what type of trees they have out there that I was allergic to, but like that had me fighting for my life, like no joke, fighting for my life. I was like eyes watering, nose stuffy, like itchy and everything. I was like, what is happening to me? Like, actually, what is happening to me? But I powered through, and I hopped out of the bed, and I turned my swag on, and it was so beautiful out there, like truly so beautiful. Like, I've never seen trees as tall as that ever in my life. On top of that, like, I've just never been on the West Coast and near an ocean either. So I was able to see the Pacific Ocean and like put my fingies in it as well, which was really awesome. And also, I don't really spend a lot of time in nature. For those of you who know me, I hate going outside. I hate bugs. The only time you'll catch me outside in the streets is typically the wintertime because there's no bugs. I can put my fits on and be comfortable and cozy. And it's not hot or anything like during that time of year. So for this one, I was like, I'm going to put my big girl pants on because my friend was like, I want to do a lot of hikes. I want to be outdoors. Like, I want to explore. And I was like, you know what? I need to do that too. I need to get outside, I need to touch some grass and get my vitamin D. And so that's exactly what we did. We spent the first day out at a farmer's market in Portland, Oregon. And we've like found a couple goodies, couple trinkets. And I found this really cool, awesome like frog hat that this guy had like hand crocheted. And I'm like really excited to wear it in like the fall and winter time because it's just so cute. And I loved it. It was this adorable like old man like hand crocheting them, and I originally had tried on a hat that I had of like the same variety of the frog hat that I liked. But I was like, oh, like it's too small. Like I think I'll leave it. But then I was thinking about it the whole day, and I was like, how cool would it be to say I have a frog hat from Portland, Oregon that someone hand crocheted? So I like went back, and someone obviously I bought the hat because it was like really cool and awesome. And I asked the guy, I was like, hey, I really like this hat. Is there any way you can like, crochet some eyes on it? He's like, oh yeah, I got you. Like come back in like 5 minutes. I was like, oh. I was like, fire, like, okay, like, this is awesome. And in the time of that happening, like my friends and I, we got face painted, and so we each did little fruits. I had blueberries, which is like on brand 'cause my favorite color is blue. But it was a really awesome time. It was fun being at the market. And then we went to Multnomah Falls and we saw the waterfall and like took really awesome pictures there. And we had to like kind of hike up a little bit of the like walkway to get to like the like platform part of the waterfall to like really see the water up close and stuff. And my friend was like, well, let's just keep going. Like we already started technically part of the hike. Like let's see how high it goes. And at first I was like, yeah, like sure, okay. I was like, can't be that high. Right. That's what I said while looking at a mountain. I said, can't be that high. Boy, was I wrong. So mind you, maybe I'll put a photo in or not. I'm wearing a 2-piece set because I was told we were just going to take photos at the waterfall. We weren't actually going to walk up it and hike it. So I was like, okay, like I'll get cute, for photos, and then we're gonna go out to dinner and go out later. And my friend's like, no, like we're gonna try and hike this. I said, oh, okay, cool. I'm in a 2-piece set. The 2-piece set included me being in a tube top and a maxi skirt. And thankfully I had sneakers because what do you mean impromptu hike? But we did it. We got all the way to the top. We saw like the beautiful landscape of Oregon. Like when you get to the top, you're literally at the top of the waterfall. So like you can kind of see the creek in which like the water flows from before it goes off the cliff, and just beautiful, like just beautiful rocks, like scenery, greenery, everything. But I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I made it all the way up here. Like I was fighting for my life because I had taken Benadryl, I think, before then. And so because it's extra strength, it's like trying to put you to sleep. like actually straight up, like it's so strong. You're like, once it like really kicks in, you feel it immediately. You're like, oh, I'm starting to get, and you're out. Like that's, at least for me, that's how extra strength Benadryl works, especially because I don't take it often because I, never have allergy flare ups. Like normally it just like, a little dust gets in here and there and it's like, I'm fine or whatever. But like this one, I was like, I can't breathe. So I had to. So I'm like half asleep walking up the mountain. On top of that, because we're back in the mountain and outdoors, my allergies are starting to come back and they're starting to flare up again. So now it's like my eyes are itching again. They're a little bit watery, but not as bad as it was the first time. And my nose is stuffy again. I'm like, okay, so like I can't breathe and we're still walking. but like I did it, and that's what matters. I didn't give up, I didn't quit, and I made it to the top, and it was very beautiful and it was very worth it. And after that we like went back to hotel, like kind of changed, got ready for dinner, and we went out to a bar or a club that conveniently Shoddy Bay was at. I don't know how we did this. I don't know how we managed to time this in the cosmos, but like perfect timing that she was at the same club that we were going to be at. So it was like really funny because like we like walked in, like paid our cover, whatever. And we're like hearing someone talk on the microphone, obviously, you know, the host of the evening. And she said the craziest thing. I honestly can't remember it now, but it was the craziest thing I ever heard. And I looked at my friend, I was like, who is that? And then as I'm like saying like, who is that? Like that was crazy. The guy's like, hey, Shoddy Bay, our host, da da da, give it up. And we're like, Shoddy Bay, like the Shoddy Bay is in Portland, Oregon right now. Like that's crazy. So that was like the funniest like turn of events for that night. And we had a great time at the club. It was a lot of fun. And then the next day we went on another hike to Silver Falls, which another just beautiful and green. There, you can see the seat. It's just beautiful and green there in the fall. What was kind of sad was that a good chunk of like the hike was kind of shut down just because of weather related things that had happened over there. Like a couple of trees that kind of blocked off paths, and it was just unsafe to walk down. So we couldn't do a lot of it, which kind of worked out in our favor because like I was still pretty tired from the day before, especially because like I told y'all, I don't go outside. So the amount of physical activity that I did on the first day that we were there was probably the most physical activity I've done since high school. Like I'm gonna just keep it real. Like we were out there like in it, hiking, like walking, like we were out there in it. And unfortunately, like we're getting older. So my body, she was tired. She said, you need to sit down. But I was like, no, we're in Portland, Oregon. We got to get up, girl. We got to keep going. And so we went to Silver Falls. We kind of just did like chunks of the hike to see like the main waterfall and then like other kind of peaks of like the mountains and stuff. And it was really beautiful and awesome. Like, God, when I say I've never seen trees that tall, like ever in my life, like those were some big trees, like really tall, big odd trees, like just big. And I was like, wow, like that's a tree. Like that's actually not a skyscraper I'm looking at or like a small building. Like that's a tree. Like that's crazy. That's a tree. I digress. It was just really awesome. It was really cool to be there. And we were able to see Cannon Beach. That's where I touched the ocean. And then we got to see the big rock in the ocean too, which was really cool. I'm really sad that it was kind of like chilly that we went. So like couldn't really do like beach things because it was cold. And it's like, I'm not trying to catch hypothermia to like not even for real like tan on the beach or like, you know, get my toes in or anything. But it was still really cool just to kind of like see like nature like that, because being in the Midwest, it's like everything's pretty flat. There's like a couple like hilly areas, but there's nothing as like mountainous and as like big mountains and big trees and stuff like that. And so like to see like such like also like huge body of water like the ocean, to see that and like other kind of natural occurring things like big rocks in the ocean and, you know, mountains and big odd trees. Can you guys tell I was really fascinated by those big odd trees? Like I was like like I've never felt so small. And it's like crazy to say because it's like being in a major like city like Chicago, it's like you see big buildings every day. It's like there goes Sears Tower, there go, you know, the Wrigley building, or there goes this water tower, whatever, like big buildings. But like some of them big trees, like they like outsold even though technically the buildings are higher than the trees. I don't know, it was just kind of like I don't know, I was just really in awe of the trees. But yeah, being in nature, that was really cool. I was really glad that I was able to kind of like spend a lot of time basically out there touching grass and being one with nature and not on my phone or watching TV or on my computer or, you know, doom scrolling or anything. Like it was really nice to like experience that and like get out of the house. And we were also able to go to Seattle for a day, which we had to drive 3 hours there, and I had to drive 3 hours back. Like I said, I didn't have to, but I just chose to drive 3 hours back just because everyone was sleepy, and I was like, oh, it's not fair if I'm the most awake. And anyways, daunting 3 hour ride back though, but I'll explain that in a second. We went to Seattle for the day, for Memorial Day, and thankfully I say this now, thankfully, that it was raining, simply because I feel like the day that we were able to have, I don't think it would have happened that day if it wasn't raining and everyone in Seattle was out and about. But when we got there, it was still raining and gloomy and like kind of cold. So we had like started our day with a little seafood boil. And then we were like, oh, well, let's like, sightsee the city. Let's do a boat tour. And so at the time that we like said, we're like, oh, we're going to go on the boat tour and like see the city. Like we didn't realize it was still going to be raining. But luckily, like after we had finished our lunch, like the rain had stopped. And so it was still like kind of cloudy. So you were kind of like, oh, maybe it's going to start raining again. Like just, things from Chicago. I'm like, I'm not gonna bet on the fact that like, oh, the rain is done just because like it stopped now, but luckily, like after we were doing our souvenir shopping and we had like bought the tickets just on a whim, like, oh, it's okay if it does like drizzle or anything because it's like we have these sweaters now, and so like we'll stay dry. And on the boat tour, it was literally just the three of us. Like there's no other people on the boat because who wants to be on a boat when it's raining? Like that's crazy. But because we did that, we got to have basically a private boat tour experience. And like as we were seeing the city, like the weather started clearing up. Like it started getting sunny and like the clouds dispersed and the gloom went away. And like seeing Seattle was so pretty. And, you got to see the Space Needle and, like, the Ferris wheel that they have on their pier and, like, all the other buildings and stuff. But the coolest part, which I'm actually kind of sad we couldn't see this, the boat people were alerted by, like, a ferry nearby, like a cargo ship, that there was a whale in the bay. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, what do you mean there's a whale in the bay? Are you telling me, like, we're going to be able to see a whale today? Like, that's so awesome. Like, I love whales and I want to see a whale. And they were like, oh, well, whales move kind of fast. So, like, it's a good chance that, like, it might, swim away before either the cargo ship moves or like we start moving like onto the water, because they told us this kind of before we had left the like dock that we were docked at. And I was like, oh my God, like we have to see the whale. So like me on the deck of the boat, I'm out there making whale noises. And I'm so serious. I'm out there on the deck of the boat making whale noises because I'm like, guys, like I want to see the whale. Like we got to tell the whale, like, hey whale, like we're here and we want to see you. Like, hi, like come show your face. And everybody was looking at me crazy. They're like, that's not a whale noise. That's not how you make whale noises. I'm like, okay, well, I don't hear anyone trying to help me make these whale noises out here. Like, I'm trying to see the whale. And so, unfortunately, we did not see the whale. The whale did whale away, and it went like, further away into the bay. And I was like, oh, it's like, this sucks. But it was still just a wonderful and awesome experience on the boat. Because it's the three of us, and like because like we were so cool and awesome, like the captain and the boat people were like talking to us and like kind of hanging out with us, and the captain was like, come in here and take some photos. And so like we got to basically like sit in the captain's quarters and like pretend we were captain of the ship, and we got to put the hat on. I might put the photo or video in here too if I learn how to edit. It was really cool and awesome, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. And like he was like helping us take like cute aesthetic photos of like Seattle and stuff. It was just so much fun. Like everyone was just so sweet and nice. And at first I remember like I felt kind of bad because the boat ride that we scheduled was technically their last ride of the day. So technically if no one would have scheduled it, like they could have gone home earlier for Memorial Day. And so I was like, dang, like we kind of held y'all up from like going home and stuff. But honestly, like I think they had a lot of fun with us. Like just the three of us being on the boat and like, kikiing and being fun or whatever. So I think it like worked out in the end, but it was a really awesome experience. And then we were able to go to the Space Needle too. We were able to like go up top and like see everything. And I didn't realize how tall the Space Needle was. And they have this little area where you can like stand on the glass and you can look down 500 feet below yourself to the ground of the Space Needle. And I was like, oh my God. Like I didn't realize how tall it was. Like it was really high. And like as we were out on like the observation decks and stuff and we were like taking photos and stuff, I was just like, wow, like this place is so cool and this place is so pretty. Like I'm really glad we were able to go and we were able to do this, because we low-key almost missed our flight. Leaving for the airport too, only because the airport was like it was at like 5 a.m, because our flight was at 7 So this is like six-ish actually. The airport was like, we're gonna have 2 TSA pre-check lines open and just 1 regular TSA line on Memorial Day weekend. And mind you, there's like literally 5 people in both TSA pre-check lines, and so the regular TSA line is literally wrapped around the like lobby of the airport, like from the middle entrance of like where we entered at, kind of where you like go to get your boarding passes and stuff if you were to print them out. From that middle part of the airport, it wrapped all the way down to the end and then doubled back for like the end of the line to like the TSA line. And so we get there, we're like, oh my God. Like, I knew it was Memorial Day weekend, but oh my God. And so we're like standing there, we're like, it's fine. Like, we still have like an hour to 45 minutes. Like, it shouldn't take long to get through TSA. And I don't think our gate is that far from the security check-in. Like, it's fine. And as we're waiting there, time is ticking and we're moving slowly. So it's like you're starting to have that thought of like, oh my God, like what do we do if we do miss the flight? Because there's literally only 1 TSA line open in this airport while they're doing construction on this freaking airport. And thankfully, whatever higher up in that area was like, y'all gotta open pre-check. Like, y'all gotta open pre-check for the regular people because they're going to miss their flights, because it's 8 million people at once who don't have pre-check, who are just checking the regular way. They're not gonna make it. And so they're like, okay, like if you're going to TSA, or you're just if you're in line here, just start walking through here. And people start asking her questions like, oh, I don't have pre-check, can I walk through here? Mind you, she literally just said like, if you're in line for TSA, just walk through this gate, just like walk through. And me and my friends are like, why are you guys asking them questions? She said walk, so just walk through. If she's telling you to walk through the pre-check line, walk through the pre-check line. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions, because there's no time to ask questions. You have to catch a flight, we have to catch a flight, and everyone else has to catch a flight. Why are you asking questions? So because people started doing that, and other people were getting frustrated as well as we were, people just started bum rushing the lines and like jumping over like the little stanchions and stuff. I was like, oh, so it's about to get very unruly and very chaotic in this airport right now. Like, that's awesome and beautiful. But thankfully people kept most of their manners, most of their senses. But yeah, it was about to get real nasty real quick in there, which I'm really grateful that they had the sense to be like, okay, yeah, we have to open it up, just because there's no one in pre-check. Why do you have 2 pre-check lines open at 6 a.m, knowing that there's literally been 5 people in those lines like throughout the entire time it's been open? Like, you should have only had one open. I digress. I'm grateful that we were able to make the flight and still go on the trip and still see all the amazing and beautiful things that we did and do all the awesome things that we did. So yeah, that was really fun. I was like, wow, touching grass really is awesome. This is really awesome. I'm really grateful to do this. I needed this. I literally said that a couple times. I was like, wow, I needed this. But yeah, that was really awesome. And I want to go on another trip this year. I really wanted to go to New York, either for my birthday or just at another time, but we'll see how things pan out. But I think I would love to do another nature trip like that at some other point, even if it's not necessarily hiking related, but even if it's just like being outside in some sort of greenery. Not necessarily camping. I'm not built for camping, but like maybe another hike, or maybe a nice like trail to walk. Maybe something calm and like easy and not a lot of uphill battles. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that's my most recent thing. Guys, I think I caught you up on everything I've been up to. Like, oh my God, I did it. I caught you up on everything. Yeah, that's been my life. It's been a crazy yet very fulfilling year. And so I'm excited to see how this year is going to continue to grow in the most awesome and unique ways, especially now that I'm back, recording these episodes and doing, the other awesome things in my life, and, going through different changes in my life and growing up. And I'm excited to bring you guys with me. It's going to be so much fun spilling all the tea, and like you're getting all the hot goss and everything. Like, it's going to be great. But yeah, that's my episode. That's my catch up. Sorry, this one was a bit of a long one. I got my yap on. I haven't had an opportunity to yap like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will link all of the things that I said down below about some of the places that I visited overseas and in other states, and my friends' music and stuff. But yeah, I'm so excited. Like, we're back in a really really, really big and I can't speak. We're back in a really big, beautiful, natural way. And I can't wait. Like, this is awesome. Like, guys, live in Technicolor. We're going to have a video format. I promise it won't be as interrogation room-esque as this one is. I hope you kind of appreciate the candidness of being in the backseat of my... Actually, guys, I missed the biggest freaking elephant in the room. Okay, one last thing. One last really major important thing, because it actually like really almost affected this in a way. So in April, before I went on this beautiful, awesome, and amazing trip, which you'll understand soon why that trip was so beautiful, awesome, and amazing. In April, I got into a car accident and my car got totaled, and it was the worst day of my freaking life. Thankfully, I was completely unharmed from the accident. I was okay. Obviously, just a little like soreness and stuff from the impact, but no injuries, no broken bones, no like major concussions or anything. But that accident involved my son, my beautiful and awesome and natural son, Blue, who was my Tesla. It was the first car I ever bought at 21 or 20. Oh my God, I think I was 20 when I bought that. That's crazy, guys. The first car I ever bought at 20, a luxury vehicle at that. And he was caught in a three-way accident. So I was driving on the highway going to rehearse for one of my friend's gigs that we were having that night. And in stop and go traffic. And the guy that hit me, that rear-ended me, was just flooring it. And I mean, absolutely flooring it. For what reason? I don't know. Because on the highway that I was on, it like has thick, dense traffic for at least like 6 miles. That's so dense it adds on at minimum like 20 minutes to your commute. And so it's stop and go the whole way through that. And there's always this one section in the traffic that kind of opens up, and it happens every single time. It's like clockwork how it happens. And in that section is where he was flooring it, I guess, thinking like, oh, the traffic's done, like I can hit this hoe and drive how I want. No, the section that it opens up at is conveniently like right before a bridge. And so under the bridge, or past the bridge, if you will, that's where the traffic usually tends to start back up. Sometimes it's a little further past the bridge. Sometimes it's like right under bridge, or whatever. Like it's a gap that opens up, a gap big enough that you can at least hit like at minimum 30 miles an hour before you're gonna have to slow down again and be in stop and go traffic. And so I was in that area. I was driving and came upon the traffic again, and I braked behind the car that I eventually ended up sliding into. And I had this weird like moment where I was like, why do I feel like someone's gonna hit me? And I've had those thoughts before where it's like I kind of I don't want to say like brake abruptly, but I brake in what I seem is a natural way, but I can tell by like the other lanes of traffic, it seems like I'm braking early because they have so much room. And so, but in this like one in particular, I was like, I think so. I think someone's gonna hit me. And it was like, as soon as I finished the thought, just pow, like straight up, pow, hit me so hard from the back that I literally like I started sliding into the car in front of me. And so I had my foot down on the brake immediately. Like, thankfully, like my fight kicked in and not my flight. And I was just like, oh my God, like I have to step on the brakes because I'm going to slide into this car. And so I'm like stepping on the brakes. I'm keeping the wheel straight because I'm also in the middle lane on the highway. So I was like, more than anything, I have to keep the wheel straight. Like my mom taught me that, because if I veer into another lane, like I'm going to get T-boned, like obviously. And then the accident's going to be so much worse because obviously the car in whatever lane I swerve into is not expecting me to be in their lane, you know? So I'm like literally like, oh my God, keeping the wheel straight, stepping on the brake. And I slide into the car in front of me and I like see my front end literally crumple up before my eyes. And like, the car stops, obviously, because I had the car in front of me. And I like sat there for a second. I was just like, oh my God. like straight up, I was like, oh my God, I just totaled, like the car is totaled. Like I knew off rip from the way that my front end crumpled up, I was like, the car is totaled. And so like once that like reality like hit me while sitting in the car, I immediately burst into tears. And I was like, oh my God, like my car is totaled. Like, this is crazy. Like I have work later this week. I have this gig tonight and I was like, just burst into tears. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I see like smoke come up from behind me, which I thought was my car, which, guys, a Tesla's an EV. So you see smoke on an EV. I was like, oh, so now I'm going to die. Like, I was like, oh, so my car's totaled and I'm going to die in a fire explosion. Like, this is awesome. And thankfully it wasn't my car. It was from the car behind me that slammed literally into the back of me. And off instinct, I tried to open my door, and I opened it just a little bit. And the car passing by me honked at me. Bro, don't honk at me and you see what's happening. Like, just move over and let me like get out. Cause like I was like, I have to see like what the damage is like. Cause if I knew the car hit me hard, but I didn't know how much damage my rear end had took. And so it was like, if it impacted the battery, like, this is gonna get unsafe. Cause if it's punctured, it could explode. And couldn't get out of the car because I'm in the middle lane and it's like rush hour traffic and no one's gonna stop. It's the city of Chicago. No one's gonna stop for me. And so I sit in the car, I immediately burst into tears. I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, the car is total. The car is total. And she says freaking out. She's like, what? Oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? I was like, I got rear-ended. I looked in the car in front of me and it's total. Literally just in tears, sobbing uncontrollably because like my life. like as crazy as it sounds, like that car was my life. I put so much time and energy and just money into the car, and it was just gone in an instant. I couldn't believe it. And so thankfully, like, my boyfriend was home, and I called him crying too, like, can you come get me? I got in an accident. And thankfully he rushed over right away. It was my savior. But oh man, even thinking about it, like, I still get a little sad because it was just like, wow, like something I like worked really, really hard towards, and I like, like prayed over constantly, and I just saved up all this money, to put down as a down payment and everything. Like, all of that was just gone in an instant. And it was like really hard for me to accept, like in the week that happened, in the weeks that followed for a little bit, because it was just like, I couldn't believe like something I worked so hard towards was gone just like that, off of someone's carelessness and recklessness. Because on top of that, the person that hit me didn't have insurance. No insurance, and you're driving that recklessly on the highway is still just asinine to me. Like, I just can't believe that. And so like the officer came and once they like eventually got on the scene with like the firefighters and paramedics, he like came up to my window. He's like, you all right? You good? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. He's like, oh, okay. Like, are you sure? Because like I was sandwiched in the middle, like straight up sandwiched. And guys, I'm gonna try and put a picture in my car, and so you could see like the front end was horrible, just terrible, and my rear end was so bad. So I understand their concern, but like for me on the inside, like I knew it was bad, but I couldn't see how bad it was, because the moment the person had hit my car, and then I had slid into the person in front of me, like all these sensors had went off, because all the sensors in the front of the car were damaged and like poking out of the front end, and then in the rear they're damaged as well. So I knew, I was like, the damage is bad. I just don't know how bad it is, but yeah, it was really sad. And so like I spent a lot of that like month of April, like the rest of the month before May, just like really sad and depressed, because I was like, it kind of made me like not want to like do anything, if that makes sense. Like I just didn't want to like start any of my passion projects or like work on anything. And like that was the thing that really sucked about it, because I was actually supposed to start the podcast back in April. I was planning on recording that following week after the accident, like, or after it would have occurred, to record this episode and be like, hey, like, I'm back. But like after that happened, it like literally just took the wind out of me, because I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I have to find a whole new car because I have work. Like I have work, and I have other things going on. Like I can't just be without a car. Like that's crazy. And on top of that, like I don't have that type of money saved up yet to just buy a new car. Like obviously I'm gonna have to get another down payment on a car, and take out another loan for it, which I really didn't want to do. Like that was oh my God, that was the other like really depressing thing about it too, was that I was almost done paying off my car. like I was right there. Like we were like maybe the end of this year, like it was gonna be fully paid off. So like that also took it out of me. Like I was right there at the finish line for that, and it's like now that's like not gonna happen. So it really took a huge toll on my mental, and it just like made me feel like I shouldn't um like just put a lot of energy like that into anything again, just because it's like every moment is fleeting. And it's like, as much as that's true, it's like, well, that's kind of a cop out way to look at it, because then it's like you're just going to live your life on easy mode and not take the risk of being able to do what you want, knowing that there's risk that either it could all go in an instant, or that it just doesn't turn out the way that you want it to. And so I had to like work really hard to kind of like get out of that mindset and really kind of push myself back into like going to do the things that I wanted to do, and even continue to do the things that I want to do in the future. And I'm glad I didn't let it stop me. And I'm glad that I fought hard to just kind of like sit in the reality of it, of like, yes, like that was my dream car. Like I did so much research on the car. I knew everything about that car, and I cared so much of it for it, like it was my son. like every day I was like, that's my son, that's my son. And even now, like I like I still watch it every now and then because they haven't did like a full memory restart on my car, so I can still see exactly where it is, and like when people open doors or like mess with it, like I get all the alerts and the notifications. So it's bittersweet in the sense that I see the constant reminder of either other Teslas on the road that look just like mine, or like when I get those notifications from the app. But more than anything, I'm grateful that I was able to do that in the first place, like being able to purchase a car like of that value, and of that what's the word? I guess value is the word, of that value at my age. Like, who do you know at age 20 is buying a luxury EV? Like, that's what it was classified as. I don't know if they would still classify that as a luxury compact or whatever, but that's that's more than most people can say. Like, most people at my age, like at that time, still didn't have a car, or were still using their parents' car or hand me down car. So I never take it for granted what I was able to do with the money I saved up for it, and even how hard I continue to work for it to keep it with me and whatnot. And I'm grateful for its use for me as well, because I was able to move multiple times using that car, because it had such great storage space in the front and the trunk, and be able to drive my friends around to different places and drive myself around to other places. And even the road trips I took in it to go visit my boyfriend and go to different places and whatnot. Like, I'm grateful for the memories that I had in the car and the things I was able to do with it, and I will miss it dearly. But I'm also really grateful I was able to get a new car. Because, like, you guys don't understand, driving a car that's not yours, it's just, like, it sucks. Because it's just, like, it's something that's not yours. So then it's, like, the extra thought of I need to be extra careful. And then in the case of me being in an accident, I was afraid to kind of drive for a little bit, because I was, like, I just feel like I'm a magnet. And I feel like if I get on the road, like, someone else is going to hit me, or if it's not rear-ended this time, maybe I'll get T-boned or something else will happen. So I was just, like, really like nervous to be on the road for that week after. But I kind of had no choice because I had to go to work, and I had to like do other errands and things and such. So I'm glad I kind of didn't let that fear of driving also kind of hinder me from doing other things as well. But yeah, it was a really really scary situation. I'm more than grateful and glad that it wasn't as bad as it could have been, let alone me being injured or the car exploding. So I'm very grateful that I'm not grateful, however, for the guy who hit me evading court. We're not gonna move past that. I don't know where you are in the city, but you need to go to court, bro. Like, you need to go to court, and you got to pay up for what you did, unfortunately. Like, I'm sorry, and I hate to break that to you, but like, you were driving recklessly without insurance. So this is my call to action to him, wherever he is. I doubt he's listening to this, but if he does somehow manage to hear this, go to court. Don't PMO again. Don't PMO again. Because I had to sit in virtual court for almost 3 hours waiting for the case to get called, just for me to find out the case won't be called because he didn't check in, and he purposely evaded court. And me and the other person who were in the accident were sitting there like, oh, okay, great, so what the F do we do with with this happening, especially with me having to get a new car? I'm like, so is there any damages that are going to be paid back to me for it, because my car to get totaled and I had to get a new one? Obviously they're not going to pay for my new car. Like, I understand that's crazy, but I'm like, any sort of compensation helps. It's times and stuff out here. You know what I mean? Like, anything helps. But yeah, wherever you are, stop evading court. Own up, bro. Own up. It's okay. You hit me. You hit me at full speed. It's fine. Like, just pay up. So hopefully that also gets sorted out, because still haven't heard anything else back from that. But I digress. I'm also very grateful to be in a new vehicle that is, my own again, and I'm back on the roads, going to work, going to different experiences, and going to different gigs and singing and doing other stuff. So I'm once again very grateful to be in the position to have another very nice vehicle. I'm officially a Chevrolet girl. Team Chevy over here. Yeah, Team Chevy. Like, Miss Equinox, she's been treating me very right. Equinox EV, to be exact. I'm gonna keep it in the EV family, just because gas is still high, because someone doesn't know how to make a true peace deal and actually have a ceasefire overseas. Someone doesn't know how to do that. We don't have no real negotiators in our U.S. government. I digress. So over the meantime, I'm gonna continue to be an EV girl. I've enjoyed my time being an EV owner and having had to drive regular combustible engine cars while I was without a car. I was like, oh, I can't do this again. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I cannot do this again. But I'm very grateful for being able to do this again, and I'm excited for the memories and the journeys that I'm gonna go on in my new car, and the awesome and cool road trips I'll hopefully be able to go on soon. And so just feeling very grateful, very blessed, and very thankful for everything. Despite all the madness, badness, and craziness, there's still some good that's coming out of everything. And so, yeah, that's officially that's officially the full update. That's how you know I've been talking so long. I'm starting to lose my voice. Oh boy. But yeah, thank you guys again for listening. I'm excited to see where this goes again. And I really hope you enjoyed this really long episode. I'm going to try and shorten it down and trim out the bits that kind of aren't as important, maybe. Or maybe you'll just hear everything at its wholesome in truth and honesty. Who knows? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Late Night Chats live in Technicolor, live in Color Vision, television. And I will see you in the next episode. Please keep in contact with me on all my socials, and check out the links I'll list below about the things that I mentioned in today's episode. And I'll see you guys next week.